I'm William O'Flaherty. Welcome to the first of two special previews of an interview with Diana Glyer about a book she edited entitled The Major and the Missionary. It releases September 29th. The book is about fascinating letters between C.S. Lewis's brother Warren and a medical missionary named Blanche Biggs. Here are excerpts from 3 questions in this preview that I asked Diana about the book. First, why is C.S. Lewis's brother worth knowing at all?
Imagine that you are a famous historian, someone who's written 7 books about France during the reign of Louis XIV. All of these books are extremely well written and insightful. Some of them are in print decades after they were published. But all of this writing is ignored simply because, compared to your famous brother, you didn't write about topics that are as universally interesting or noticed. And so think about what that would be like to be in the shadow. So I'm really glad to think about this talented writer, this historian, whose work as a writer begins with his childhood stories and plays and poems that he wrote when he was little, that stories that he wrote in collaboration with his brother Jack. In fact, those early stories, I think, are so important that the case could be made that we wouldn't have C.S. Lewis if we didn't have these early collaborations.
Next, here's an excerpt about why care about letters that cover the last 5 years of Warren's life.
But what I think we see in these letters is the opportunity for readers to have some of the joy of studying original letters and making up their own minds. So what do we particularly observe? What do we particularly see in this last 5-year period, in this period of Warren Lewis's life? I would say that when you look at things like his diary or other letters or biographies that we have, biographical sketches that we have, most of the available material we have about Warren Lewis, it shows him in the company of other men or in direct relationship to his brother. So when you think about that, that's a very limited kind of view, and it raises questions for me. So here's some of the questions that I think The Major and the Missionary helps us to grapple with. For one of them, how does Warren Lewis address people who are not part of his inner circle, of this group of the Inklings, or his relationship with his brother?
You'll hear more reasons in the full interview. Finally, who is Blanche Biggs?
But Blanche Biggs is a missionary doctor serving in Papua New Guinea. And she's also facing a particular tragedy that happens during the season of these letters, right where she is. And that is the eruption of the Mount Lamington volcano. And she's affected by this very directly. This volcano eruption killed more than 4,000 people. And her hospital made room for more than 1,000 additional patients who were sick, injured, or displaced by that volcano blast. And so, again, we have this sort of boots on the ground, firsthand experience of reflecting on these historical events, but also responding and being affected by some of these various current events that are happening.
That's just part of what Diana shares about Blanche's life in terms of the historical events around the time of these letters. In the second preview, releasing a few days after this first preview, you'll hear part of the first letter Blanche wrote to Warren, asking a question about the first collection of letters by his more famous brother, along with key themes in the letters between the two, and how Diana came across the letters themselves. I'm William O'Flaherty. Thanks for watching this, and subscribe to this channel to get notified of when the nearly 40-minute episode of my complete interview with Diana Glyer releases about The Major and the Missionary.